Are we live?
We're live.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another live stream here on the Blind to Billionaire YouTube channel. So today we're going to be talking about how do blind people or visually impaired people go on dates or meet new people. So we had a comment just a couple days ago from one of our friends here on YouTube asking how we met and how it went when we first started hanging out, or when we first met each other, how it was when we were dating, how it went. What am I trying to say?
Basically, what Matt's trying to say is, it's hi, Ravi. Ravi? I'm saying probably Ravi.
Ravi.
He's on now.
Oh,
hi.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for being here.
So I think what you're trying to say is like, how did you, as a blind person or somebody
Yeah.
with very low vision? Oh, and you're the one who asked the question. It's Ravi.
Oh,
Who asked
hey,
the question.
what's going
Hi. This is so awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. So basically, the question is how does somebody who's blind meet people and date?
Yeah.
And you're going to go off of your experience of what that was like.
Sure.
And Carrie's like, hello, you guys are always live so late. We're just
Carrie.
trying something new, honestly.
Yeah.
Usually we like to mix up the times, but we just figured last night was kind of fun, so we wanted to do it again.
Now we just do it again, so here we are.
And Robbie said, hi, I'm up, and it's 4 a.m. here in London. Haha. Oh my gosh,
wow.
you're up so early. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
This
This
is
is
so
cool.
kind. This is
Very
awesome you're
cool.
here. And if you want to like pipe in about what specifically you want to know, like any specific details, like please let us know, because we want to answer your questions and learn from you too.
So is it Robbie, like R-O-B-B-I-E?
It's R-A-V-I.
Okay.
So I think it's Ravi.
Ravi. Oh,
That's how I'm
gotcha.
gonna say it. Ravi. If
Okay.
it's a different way, let us know. But I think it's Ravi.
So Ravi, I answered your question earlier today, but then I thought, you know what, this would actually be a really good video topic, and we thought, let's just make a video about it and talk about it, because we've actually had this question a few other times over the last several months too, so we thought, let's just make a video and talk about it.
And it's Ravi. He said like ravioli.
Oh,
so
perfect.
Ravi.
Ravi.
And
Thanks for
Marwan's
clarifying.
here too.
Hey, Marwan,
Good to
thanks
see
for
you.
being here.
How are you today? We're good. We're great.
Yeah. Thanks, Marwan. Thanks for being here again.
Yeah, and we're excited to hear from your experiences, all of your experiences too, about what it's like to date as a blind person. So,
Yep.
I mean, Matt will talk about what it's like when he started dating me, and he dated other people too. So just kind of that whole experience. So,
Right.
if you want to like, go ahead.
Yeah. So I've talked about this in other videos, but I'll talk about it a little more now. So I lived a relatively normal, independent life. I shouldn't say normal, but like somewhat of an independent life until I was about 26. So my life was pretty easy then, as far as like dating and meeting people. It was pretty normal. I didn't drive. I stopped driving when I was around like 22. I think it was 22. Yeah, it was around there,
Yeah,
like
you were
21,
22-ish.
22, something like that. And so I stopped driving then. So that was a little bit of a dilemma. But other than that, everything was pretty normal. It was relatively easy. I didn't need to explain to anybody. I didn't need a whole lot of help. So it was fine. The interesting part came from the ages of roughly 27 through like 30-ish when Corey and I met, whenever that was, like 30,
I think you were 29.
Okay.
Oh, you were 30.
Yeah, so
Okay.
roughly like 3 to 4 years, it was a totally different story for me when it came to like dating and meeting people. So for me, previously, I'll go back to when I was more independent. So that time, it was, like I said, it was a little bit easier. I mostly met people online, and the reason for that is I actually don't drink. So it feels like a lot of people meet like in the bar scene, and that's kind of like the way that most people do it, it seems like. And I actually don't drink. I don't go out to bars. So that wasn't really an option for me. I just decided I'm not going to start drinking just so I can meet people.
But also,
And-
like, bars, weren't they sort of challenging for you because they're so
Yeah,
dark?
that's another thing too. Bars were very challenging for me because, I mean, I obviously at some points went, but very rarely. But they were challenging because they were crowded, and it was always very dark and loud. So like the senses that I would rely on, like my hearing, to give me an idea of what's going on around me, it didn't really apply because it was so loud with music and people talking. It was hard. It was also very dark. So the little bit of vision that I had, as all of us know with RP, our night blindness is very difficult because we literally can't see anything in the dark. So it makes it difficult.
I'm going to cut in, if you
Yep,
don't mind.
sure.
I'm going to read some comments. Let's see here. Arburns Wallace is here. Hi, Richard.
Hey, Richard. Great to see you.
He wrote, hi, how are you? Did you have a very good Christmas? Our
We did.
Christmas was excellent.
Yeah,
we had
thanks,
a really
Richard.
nice
Hope
holiday.
you did too.
And Sabrina's here.
Hey, Sabrina.
Hi, Matt
nice
and Corey.
To see you too.
Here in the Netherlands, it's 5 a.m. now.
Wow.
Wanted just to go to bed and saw you coming live, so I thought I'd stay for a little time. Thank you.
Thanks, Sabrina. Thanks
it's
for
so
being
nice
here. This
for
is
you
nice.
to be here. This is awesome. We have so many countries represented.
I know,
it's
right?
so cool. Like
Very
the Netherlands, like London.
Yep.
And
cool.
then Carrie wrote, "Oh no, dating. Oh boy, let's forget all those shenanigans." You know, I'm like, it's funny. I think, and I don't know if it's a female thing or maybe it's not, but like I'm so thankful to like not have to like date anymore. And I think Matt liked meeting new people. So I mean, he obviously doesn't want to like date people now.
Yeah.
But I think we're like, I'm so grateful to not have to do that. I think you liked getting to meet new people.
I still do. I still really enjoy talking and getting to know new people. Like one-on-one, I feel like I do really well with people. But when I'm, just like we talked about last night in the live stream, anything more than just maybe five or six people, I really struggle. But one-on-one, I feel like I can do really well.
And like dating websites are kind of, I mean, because that's what Matt and I both used in part.
Yeah.
You know, it's an easy way to like, you have like an excuse to like get to know people essentially because you're like trying to meet somebody. So
yeah.
That was cool too. And then just really quick, and then I'll let you keep going. Richard also wrote, and I totally remember, I mean, obviously we know you're from England. He said, "I'm from Manchester, England, UK, and it's 4:10 a.m.
Oh, cool.
So
that's so cool that all of you are awake so early and joining us. This is cool.
This is cool. So what I'm wondering, I have a question for you guys who are up, like, it's so early. Are you up because you're always up this early, or did you see that there was a live stream and, like, it woke you up somehow? I'm just curious, like, how this worked out because it's so awesome.
Yeah,
so Ravi is up late. Sabrina has not slept yet.
What?
So we're,
Really?
like, on a whole, like, everybody's just, like, all over the place. This is awesome.
Wow. Huh.
That's so cool.
Yeah, this is cool. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Yeah,
we appreciate
thank you.
it. Yeah, so getting back to the story, and then Corey will interrupt here in just a little while when she has more comments and questions. So I'll talk for a little bit, and then she can give us more updates.
And Ravi said that he was he's binge watching your videos.
Oh,
that's so
Thanks.
cool. I hope you pick good
Thanks,
ones
Ravi.
that make you want to stay.
I know it. Yeah. So getting back to the story, as far as how I used to do it, as far as when I would meet people, I would always try to avoid dark situations like going into restaurants. I really didn't like doing that because I always found that it was difficult because restaurants here in the US, I don't know what it is around the world, but here in the US, most restaurants are pretty dark. So I always struggled in dark situations because not only could I not see when we went into the restaurant to like navigate to the table, but then when we get to the table, we'd have to look at the menu. It was too dark for me to see it. So it just created a really awkward situation. But how I got around the driving situation is, like I said, most of the people that I met were online. So what we would do is I would typically start talking to someone and get to know them and let them get to know me before I told them about my vision. And I don't know, I feel like there was some discussion about that. I had a few, kind of back and forth talks with a few people that felt like it was a little bit deceiving to not have it written in my profile that I'm visually impaired. So I had a few people they weren't too happy with me about that because they feel like that should have been disclosed right away. But for most of the people, it didn't really matter. So what I did is I would typically get to know them, let them get to know me. And then after we've established somewhat of a baseline, then I would kind of go into the fact that I have really bad vision and here's the issue. And here are my limitations at the time that I would share with them. And the reason that I would let them get to know me first is because I thought I want somebody to give me a chance and get to know me as a person. And I want to get to know them too, before they just all of a sudden judge me and think, oh, this person's blind, they can't do anything, and then they just leave. So I've experimented many different ways, and I found that getting to know someone for a little while, a couple days, or a little while talking back and forth, before telling them about my vision was probably the best strategy. Because I also tried talking to people and almost immediately telling them about my vision, and then suddenly they would stop talking to me.
Well, and I think too, I mean, from my perspective, I mean, you're like multifaceted. Like, I was excited to get to know you and like the flirty, cute things about you. And then it was like, okay, like, let's add to that. Like, okay, there's no vision involved,
Yeah.
And then you have to decide. But I'd always, I felt like I was kind of hooked already.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I mean, like, I liked him. I thought it was funny and cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, but it's, don't you think?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's like,
definitely.
it's like if you're just like, hey, I'm blind. It's like, well, is that the only thing that you have to offer?
Right.
You know, you have a lot of things to offer.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, and going back to what I just said, that's why I'd like to get to I'd like people to get to know me before I just tell them about my vision, because I feel like I have a lot more to offer than just, my vision.
Mm-hmm.
My vision.
And back then it was interesting because you could see better. Like Matt could see
Mm-hmm.
a lot better, but also he also was like less comfortable, I would say, for sure, with like being low vision, and there wasn't the word blind used
Never.
ever until like very, very recently.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like blind, but he could see a little bit. So
I could see well enough to get around without assistance
Mm-hmm.
in lighting. If it was dark, that was a problem.
Plus, the other thing that Matt did that actually, this is really tricky, this is like clever on your part, and this might be a good tip for people, is that you would go to the same places on dates with like multiple people. Like you'd go to like, wouldn't you like take people to like the same places?
Yeah, pretty much
so,
did
like,
the same thing every time.
Because he knew how to get there. Like
Yep.
when we would like our first date was like a beach, like at a lake, and so Matt took us. Like he told me how to get there, but then like he knew like how many steps it was from the parking lot to the curbs. Like I mean, essentially, like he knew exactly where to go, and so I mean, honestly, like that was kind of clever because he's kind of honestly he could fake his vision like really well. Until he came to my house for the first time. Yeah. And it was like, oh, like he needs a little more assistance here. But like at his house, he was totally, obviously perfect. Yeah. The parks we went to and the things we did, he was perfect. So like I would say as a tip for people who are uncomfortable, like, who are low vision, who are like not sure what to do, take people to like somewhere
Exactly.
Do you think that's a good one?
Exactly. That's a good point. Yeah. I would always go to places that I was familiar with and I knew very well. Like places that I had gone when I was younger and I had spent a lot of time at and going to, just because I knew it and I was comfortable with it. And I didn't need to necessarily be able to see my way around in order to navigate. I just knew where to go.
Mm-hmm. So it made you seem less low vision. And
exactly.
Then again, I got to meet Matt not as like a low vision person, which is fine either way, but more like about the facets of his personality. I'm going to read some comments quick.
Okay.
So our Burns Wallace wrote, I am up early and I love to try and catch your live videos, and I'm going to wear my makeup natural looking today for the first time in public, and I'm going to vlog my day. Exciting.
That's
awesome. Way to go. That'll be so cool.
That's so cool, Richard. Thank you.
Also, Richard, I am wearing highlighter today for the second time only. And so I don't know if you can tell, but I feel like I actually might have a shimmery glow. So I just thought I'd throw that out there because I thought you'd appreciate it. And Sabrina wrote, that's pretty much everywhere, I think. That's what most people call romantic. I don't like darkness too in restaurants, how they're dark everywhere.
Right.
Marwan said, yeah, why it's dark, I hate that. They don't want to pay extra money for electricity. You know what? I totally got you on that, Marwan.
The only place that turns their lights on is Perkins.
Which is like a fine place to go. Sure. I've been there on many
days.
It's
just funny because you go in Perkins, it's like, oh gosh, it's bright.
Let's see here. Rejoy. Hi, Rejoy.
Hey, Rejoy. What's going on?
This is awesome. He said, the topic which is on everyone's mind, winky face.
Nice.
True.
That is so true.
Carrie wrote, plus you can see what kind of other people there are from their reactions, LOL. That's true. Like, you did get a lot of, like, good... Like, you could really scratch people off pretty quick if they were not very right for you.
Yep, and that's another really cool thing about online. When you start talking to people, it only takes a message or two to get a feel for someone, if they're going to be accepting of the low vision or if they're rude right off the start, which unfortunately I've experienced too many times. People that are just rude, and I thought, you know what? I don't have time for that. So
exactly. Sabrina wrote, it's rude to stop talking when you tell them about your vision, and I would say those people aren't worth your attention.
Exactly. And I agree, Sabrina.
That's kind of how it is. I mean, the thing is like it sucks to have somebody like stop messaging you because of that. Yeah. But I also kind of feel like, you know what? Let's be done. Like, why waste your time? Like, why waste one more minute of your time?
True. It's definitely hurtful though when you start talking to somebody and it's kind of a good conversation, and then you drop the whole vision thing, and then they just kind of disappear. It's like, oh well, Yeah, it bothered me, but something, yeah, I don't know.
Let's see here. I'm going to read through the comments and then I want you to answer one of these.
Okay.
So Ravi wrote, "What was your dating life like when you're 21, Matt?"
Okay.
Sabrina wrote, "You don't have to shame for your vision. They have to shame themselves for their behavior." Rejoy wrote, "Hello guys. Hello back to you guys. Was finally able to catch you guys. Love the chemistry between you guys."
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah, it's always just a real
Yeah.
treat. And Richard wrote, "That's my sister got me doing her makeup because I do it better than her and I can only see light. I have light perception and also have photophobia, light sensitivity." Sabrina
Yep.
wrote, "Yes, I totally get you. It's hurt."
Mm-hmm.
And then Arburns Wallace wrote, "I am single and bisexual and I'm on dating sites." So that's good to know.
That is good to know.
Yeah, thanks for letting us all know.
How's that going for you, Richard? Are you like having some success with it? Did you just start? Have you been on there a while? I'd be curious to know, like, hear more about your experience.
So I want you to touch though on Ravi's question
Yeah.
about what was your dating life like when you were 21?
When I was 21, so I actually drove. So that's when I kind of near the end of my driving life. So my experience then was actually a lot different. It was a lot easier because my vision was a lot better back then when I was like 21. I still drove. I stopped driving like the end of the summer, just before my 22nd, like September-ish, I stopped driving of my like 21st year. So it was a lot easier because when I would meet people, I was actually able to like go and meet them somewhere, like physically go and drive and like visit and meet them somewhere. One thing I always tried to avoid though was having people in my vehicle and having me drive them because I mean, let's be honest, I was a horrible driver. I shouldn't have been driving.
You shouldn't have been driving anyone.
I shouldn't have been driving myself. And I feel like I was probably a hazard on the road. I don't know, but I'm just guessing. So I always tried to avoid people coming into my vehicle, but I was always willing to drive somewhere around my area that I was familiar with to meet someone. So when I drove, I typically like to stay in the area that I kind of grew up in, maybe like, I don't know, 5 mile radius or maybe a little bit more than that, just areas that I knew very well. And I was always willing to meet someone there. But typically I didn't like to go and drive somewhere, pick someone up and then continue driving. That was always, I did that a few times and it was always a very kind of an awkward situation when I'm like swerving all over the place and I can't see the road.
But how did you meet people when you were 21?
But how did I meet people? When I was 21, I don't know if I was online then. Possibly. If I did, it was really early. I mean, the internet was, to me, still kind of a new thing back then.
Yeah, we didn't online date when we were 21.
Right, but I would say I met people maybe at like some of the jobs that I had or maybe at school. To be honest with you, I didn't really do much dating at all when I was 21. I mean, that's just completely honest with you.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
And Marwin wrote that
Yeah.
he wrote, "Corey, maybe he was busy dating. LOL, just kidding. He's a very bad driver too." That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
He was busy later dating.
But yeah, Ravi, just to be honest with you, I don't think I did a whole lot of dating when I was that age. I think it was more when I was in the like 24 to 26 range.
Why do you think that was?
I didn't know how to talk to people. I was really shy. I was really shy for a long time. For the first many years of my life, I was very shy. So I think that had a huge factor. That was a huge factor.
Okay. No, that's good to know. I mean, I think it's interesting because it's like, you know, kind of why.
Yeah.
I'm going to write, Ravi wrote, "I have cone rod dystrophy, so can't drive, but I'm at uni, so surrounded by lots of girls. But what I find difficult is opening up about my visual impairment with potential partners." So what is a good way to do that, do you think? Like, how can we help Ravi get a lady?
That's a good question. So what I did when I was writing to people online, I always wrote basically the same thing to everybody. I would say something, I don't remember exactly what I wrote, but I wrote essentially the same thing to every single person. And it was kind of a soft way to like ease my way into it. I would basically say that my vision is really bad and like consequently I don't drive anymore. And then sometimes I would say like in certain situations I need help navigating, for example, like being in the dark. I have really bad night vision. Do you remember anything that I wrote about it?
He wrote that he had retinitis pigmentosa, or that he has retinitis pigmentosa specifically.
Yep.
And then so like if in your situation, if you were to write or tell somebody like you have rod cone or cone rod dystrophy, I liked that from my perspective because we were writing, I actually Googled it right away to like do some research and educate myself so that I understood what he was actually dealing with a little bit. But I think that's kind of nice to give people that education that they can like look up or whatever.
Yeah.
And you also wrote, which here's the kind of the flirty part, I think, is like sometimes that Matt needed help like getting around so that it would be okay if like we held hands right away.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of flirty.
Well, of course.
And I liked it because I was like excited.
Right.
So for me, I thought, I don't know, I didn't care. I was excited.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like a pickup line, like, hey, we're going to have to hold hands, right away. And I was like, awesome, down for that.
Right. Yeah, so later on in my life, when I was 26, 27, when my vision became a lot worse, and I actually needed assistance getting around, like I wasn't able to just walk around independently anymore with someone next to me, but actually it turned into an event where when I would meet people, we would need to hold hands in order to get together. Like if we were going to meet, I would always, so let me back up a little bit. When we would be talking, I would tell them about the vision thing, and then if we had plans to meet, I would always say something along the lines of like, my vision's bad, and then after all that was said, I would say something like, are you comfortable holding hands? And most of the time, if people got to the point that they accepted the vision part, they were usually comfortable holding hands too. And I just had to throw it out there because that was my life. There was no other way that I could do it. If they weren't comfortable doing that, I would just say, we can't meet.
And that happened to him.
And that happened a few times. It wouldn't work out. If they weren't willing to help me, which is totally fine. If they weren't willing to do that, we just wouldn't be able to meet because, they could like drive over to my house and we could stand out on the driveway and talk. But other than that, I don't know how else we would have done it.
Yeah, it would have been hard.
Yeah.
Ravi also wrote, and I'm just on it. I know a couple other people are writing. I'm just going to read Ravi's and then we'll kind of go back. He said, I sometimes feel inferior to other guys, so avoid serious relationships with girls, but casual ones are fine. Did you find that to be kind of how you felt too, Matt? Or how does that... I really appreciate you sharing that. This is like, this is awesome that you're like putting yourself out there like this. I actually think that even you like communicating these feelings to us and here with like all of this, like this community that we have, there's 8 of us here right now, 9 of us.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Just saying these things, I think it will make you more vulnerable in an attractive way to a girl who's a kind person, because I think that the right girl or like a sweet girl would find your honesty really like appealing. What do you think, Matt? Just not necessarily about what I said, but about what Ravi said.
No, I agree. Just being open like that and being honest and showing that you are somewhat vulnerable. That's a hard situation. That's a hard thing to put out there. And just being honest with somebody, it might take a little while to find someone who like truly accepts that. But at the end of the day, when you find that person, you'll know because they'll just be so nice and so accepting. They'll want to get to know you for the person that you are, and they'll be willing to help you with anything that you need help with.
I know one of the time I asked Matt why he wanted to marry me when we were engaged. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, I remember.
And one of the things he said that stuck with me that was shocking is he said that I was nice to him about not being able to drive. Do you remember that?
I don't remember exactly what I said.
He said it very similar to that. And we had been dating for like 2 years, and I didn't even think about it. Like, when he said that, it was like a thing I had not ever thought about. And it was such a sweet, like, vulnerable thing to say. And it was, honestly, I kind of thought it was kind of sad. Because it was like, why wouldn't I? Like, why would I hold that against somebody? But that was a feeling that he had at the time, and maybe still a little, but that was an interesting thing that, I don't know, I guess I felt like sharing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So,
Matt.
Ravi, to your point in your question, I agree. I also felt very inferior to other people too, because everybody else was able to drive. They were able to go out and play sports. They were able to be independent and go and pick up somebody with their vehicle and drive and take them to a nice restaurant or, do whatever. And I felt like I wasn't able to do a lot of those things because my vision wouldn't allow for it. So I did feel inferior. As for like casual relationships versus something serious, that would make sense to me. And the reason for that is if somebody is just like a casual friend or something like that, or whatever it is, like there's no commitment, necessarily. So it's more like like a friendship. So anybody can be friends. And from like somebody else's perspective, when they look in at somebody who's visually impaired, they can always think, oh yeah, we can be friends, and that's totally fine. So I feel like a lot of people are more accepting to be friends because it's easier than like jumping into a commitment. So I hope that doesn't sound like really bad or insulting or anything like that, but I feel like that's just like maybe the reality behind it.
I don't think it sounds bad at all. I think it makes a lot of sense, because the thing is this way, like with having the casual relationship, which isn't maybe the goal, but it's just that you don't have to worry about how they actually feel about your low vision.
Right.
Because today you can do whatever they need you to do.
The cool thing about a casual relationship too, though, is you're actually getting to know that person. You're becoming friends, you're doing things together, you're having fun activities together, you're doing whatever, and you're getting to know each other. And who knows, that could turn into something more over time.
It could.
Because that person may realize, like, hey, you are a really cool person, and we really enjoy spending time together. And over time, that person will get to know your limitations or what you're able to do.
Definitely.
So it'll make it a lot easier for you. So one other thing that I always made very clear to people was that I'm looking for friends initially. I always was looking for friends. And when people said like, oh, we're dating, I'd be like, no, we're not dating. We're just hanging out as friends. Like I was very conservative with using the word dating because
Matt did not like.
I still don't like that word.
He is not a fan of the word dating.
No, because I feel like it's too much of a commitment. I like to get to know people as a friend and hang out as a friend with no commitments of any kind.
But I did want a commitment.
Well, of course, everybody wants a commitment. Every girl wants a commitment.
Wanted to like only date somebody who I could marry.
Yeah.
I mean, I dated people, but like I really only wanted to like date people to marry.
Yeah.
And so that I made that clear too.
Well, that's
to Matt.
That's typically the ultimate goal in the end.
But like you asked me to be your girlfriend 3 months into our dating, and I think it was because I
put the hammer down.
Put the hammer down. But it was cute. I'll tell you how he asked me to be his girlfriend, because I think it's cute. And partially it's because of his low vision, which I thought was really cute. But he had these glow sticks that he had at his house. Like
those glow sticks you see around Halloween time. You crack them and they glow out and they glow.
Yeah. So what he did is he taped to his wall, like it was dark, and he taped G and then F and then question mark to see, and then he was like, hey, come up now. And then on the wall it said GF question mark, and it was like, oh, it was glowing and it was dark. It was really cute.
High contrast.
High contrast.
Yep.
And I saved the glow sticks because, I'm a pack rat.
So are there other comments we should
There
talk
are.
about?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back quick. I'm going to go back and try and do this. So Ravi wrote, after watching Matt's videos, I felt like he and I are very similar, so I appreciate the insight. I kind of think you guys are. It's really cool. Let's take a look back quick. Rejoy said, talking about driving, I went to the docks after I started getting into accidents. I used to be very good at it at it before, and it's one of the things I miss doing the most. That's a really tough situation.
Yeah.
Matt knows about it.
Yeah, thanks for that comment, Rejoy. Yeah, the whole driving thing, just the loss of that independence is pretty difficult. I feel like that's something that most people struggle with, which is interesting, actually. Last week, I posted in one of the RP groups on Facebook, I wrote something like,
What's the first thing you want to do when you can see again?
What are the first few things you would want to do when you can see again? And what was interesting, there were like 50 people or something that commented, maybe more than that.
There was like 70, I think.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that commented on that post. And out of, I would say probably half the people or more wrote drive, that they want to drive.
I would think, and I don't know from experience, but from talking to people, that, you know, you can kind of fudge a lot of stuff when you can't see very well.
Mm-hmm.
But driving is like a very tactile, very like definitive thing that you absolutely cannot do at some point, potentially. And it's probably pretty startling. Like, I can fake a lot of stuff. I can kind of do a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But if you cannot drive, it's like, whoa, this is like a real consequence of my low vision. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that way? Or
I do.
Do you think that's pretty accurate?
It's actually interesting. Today I was here. I was at home. I was doing a bunch of things. And I thought, God, it'd be really nice to go to the gym right now. I'd love to be able to go and work out right now. I wish I could drive. It'd be sure nice to go jump in my car and go over to the gym and spend a couple hours working out. But that didn't happen, unfortunately.
I'm going to keep reading.
Yeah.
I've been, Richard, I've been on the dating sites for a long time, and people stop speaking to me when I tell them I'm blind. And they ask me if I am blind, how do you read and reply to their messages?
So that's another, I'm glad you brought that up, Richard. What's interesting, too, that I found, when I was on the sites, this is just me. I'm not critiquing what you're saying, but I just want to throw this out there. For me, I never used the word blind. I found that was more kind of a harsh word in that sense, like in the dating realm. So I used the words visually impaired because it feels like a softer word that people think, oh, like you just need glasses or you just need LASIK. You know, it's something like that. People just think like it's a lot more mild. Because I found when you say, what I found, if I ever said blind, people were like, whoa, like that's a lot to take in. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
But I think that if you were on a dating website now, if you did say blind, it would be pretty dishonest.
Yeah. I
know you'd still do it, but
I would probably still use visually impaired and kind of ease my way into it. That's what I would try to do, just because I feel like it gives me a little bit more of a chance to continue with my conversation a little bit more so that person can maybe kind of like ease into it. And then I can explain more about what I can and cannot see. That's just how I would do it.
I think that seems reasonable.
Whether I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I don't know. I kind of like to ease into things versus just...
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
The thing is though, like, okay, so because at first I was like, God, if he just says he's visually impaired, that's not very honest. It's like, what the heck? But you know what? Everybody does that on dating websites. It's like, oh, like, I can think of examples, but like, I might say like, oh, like, I work out. And then it's like, but like, I work out like once a week. I actually work out a lot more than that. But, you know, like, I can kind of fudge on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Like, I can tell you like, oh yeah, I'm really into health food. But like, really, it means I eat carrot sticks like in my lunch. Right. So I think that, I know eating carrot sticks in your lunch isn't the same as being blind versus visually impaired, but I think on dating websites and when you're getting to know people, it's very reasonable to like not like lay out your whole life story, every second of your life story. Right. I'm gonna keep reading. Rejoy. Anyways, after the diagnosis, the doc was like, "Oh, no driving at all. I didn't know how I survived all the driving, and most importantly, I don't know how others survived around me." Smiley face.
Well, I'm glad you're here and you survived and everybody else around you did.
I'm glad you're not in jail. Seriously. I'm glad Matt's not either. Yeah. That's a tough one because seriously, it's kind of amazing to think about, like, I mean, Matt driving when he shouldn't have been.
The hard part about...
Rejoice laughed. Yeah. It's maybe funny now.
The hard part about stopping... no longer driving is that it's an abrupt loss of independence. It's not like you lose independence slowly over time like with RP. There's just things that are harder to do over time because it's such a slowly progressing condition. With driving, it's like one day it's like, okay, I'm done. That's it. Yeah, and like, independence is like, a lot of independence is lost in a matter of, immediately.
Plus, that was before Uber. That was before Lyft.
Yep. And so now there's so many different ride sharing.
That actually helps. Yeah. Like normal ride shares.
It would.
Where you could just like easily on an app do it.
Yep. If I had a smartphone, I could do that.
You could have a smartphone.
Yep. So, more questions.
Okay. Carrie wrote, I love Matt's reactions to Corey. That was
Thanks,
when
Gary.
we were talking about, I think, our first date. I can't remember.
Or just all my reactions.
Just all.
Yeah.
They're a combination of thinking I'm funny and like being like, stop talking. That's a fact. Sabrina wrote, humor is always good. Humor makes the subject lighter, and it will always hurt when you reject by someone, but those people hold the way for someone who can deal with your situation. Marwan wrote, it's the same thing when I was using the dating website, for I tell them my vision is bad and I have night blindness or have RP. Sometime they cancel, sometime I use Uber. But and he thinks that it's destiny that we met each other.
Yeah. It
kind of is. I mean, there's no way we would have met. It is kind of cool.
Right. That is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Marwan.
Yeah, thanks, Marwan. Let's see here. Ravi wrote, thanks, you guys. No, it doesn't sound bad. It's the reality about casual versus like hardcore relationships.
Yeah.
Sabrina wrote, driving a car isn't happiness. I never drive and I could never drive. People who are only interested in cars driving are very, and I don't know that word, and don't like you for they look like a taxi driver. You know, that's true too.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Thanks, Sabrina.
Ravi wrote, after watching Matt's videos, I felt like he and I are very similar. Oh, so you appreciate the insight. Marwan wrote, so adorable and nice. Art Richard wrote, I have been on the dating sites for a long time and people stop speaking to me when I tell them I'm blind, or they ask me if I'm blind, how do I write messages? Yes, sorry, we already read that. So I'm just waiting for that person who will accept me for me and believe that you don't change your life for anyone because you are yourself and you should live your life to the fullest. And then Sabrina wrote to Richard, you never should change for somebody. You can't do it if somebody else, for the rest of your life, they have to accept you for who you are. Rejoice wrote that that's true about independence. And Rizwan, hey Rizwan.
Rizwan from India is here. Thanks for being here, Rizwan.
And he wrote, hey, Matt and Corey, taking a lift from my brother is also a headache. You know what? That's probably true. You know, getting a ride?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's nice to hear from you. Carrie wrote, Pablo and I were a work relationship scandal. Ooh. LOL, just kidding. How scandalous. But we did meet at work. That's cool that you guys met at work. It's interesting to like learn where people meet.
Right.
Let's see. It hasn't been so far since I was in high school and college, but it's hard. You're just trying to figure out your own life and who you are. And then Richard wrote, I feel comfortable to speak with you guys. He lost his eyesight in 2017 in a terrorist attack when a solo terrorist bomb exploded and killed 22 people at the Manchester Arena at an Ariana Grande concert.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh. I saw that on the news.
We saw that on the news. That's awful.
Yeah. I didn't. You know what, Richard? We've talked about this a few times, and I don't think I realized that was a concert because I feel like I remember that very specifically. Like, I mean... It was all over the news.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Thanks for sharing
thanks
that, Richard.
Thanks for sharing. It's good. It's nice for everybody to know, you know, and I don't know if normally when people have live streams, if they read the comments out loud, but I think in some ways, for this situation, it's kind of nice so Matt can hear, but also if other people have a hard time kind of reading and watching and doing all these things, I don't know if
you know what, in this situation, I feel like it's only appropriate to be reading the comments out loud just because I can't read them. So that's a way for me to hear the comments and interpret them and just reply to them. But everybody else, I'm sure some other people here too need some help reading them. So
yeah, I think so too. I think it seems reasonable.
Plus, we want to connect with all of you. I mean, that's half the reason why we do these live streams is that we just want to connect with you rather than shooting a video on our own and just putting it up. We love these live streams. It's so much fun connecting with people here live. It's really cool.
And what's also cool is maybe somebody reads here, like, you know, somebody else might have been in a similar situation. So maybe like other people who aren't us connect to each other who are on the site. Carrie also wrote, and then opening up to another person about something that people discriminate against about you. It's hard, but it can really show who really cares about you and who is worth it.
Yeah. That's true.
And Richard wrote that he had a double brain hemorrhage because of it, and so his eyes look normal, but they don't work. Okay. And Reader wrote, I am also more into casual relationships because of my diagnosis. So I'm continuing it because I prefer being single. Thankfully, I have family friends who are loving and supportive. And Marwan wrote, oh, sorry about that. I didn't know about a I didn't know a human being hurt another human being. Yeah, about Richard. Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah, thanks for that comment, Rejoy. I completely agree with you, and I understand what you're saying. So about more the casual versus serious, and having family and friends who are there to support you and know that you're a great person for who you are, and that your vision doesn't dictate who you are.
Another thing that I thought I'd mention about that casual relationship thing that Matt and I have talked about is, and maybe Matt doesn't want me to share this, we'll find out. But once we started dating and we were going to be exclusive, and that was the decision we both made. Matt didn't get to like go out and meet like other girls anymore, even just to be friends with. I mean, like on a dating website.
Yeah.
And that's been something that was hard, and because that was how you met a lot of people. Yeah. And so I feel like that's I mean, yeah, like it's great to meet me or whatever, but I'm just one person. Like people want more than one person in their life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, that's actually a good segue into what I wanted to get into. So as for like the title of this video, how do blind or visually impaired people go on dates or meet new people or friends? So that's actually what I wanted to hit on too. I would say that I didn't really have a specific way that I would meet people to be friends, other than some of the people that I would meet online actually happened to turn into friends. So over time, talking, maybe hanging out a time or two, we decide like, obviously this is not more than a friendship, but we can definitely be friends. And I became friends with a few people that way. And it was really cool because they knew about me, I knew about them, and they accepted me for who I was, and they accepted that I have, limited vision, and they were willing to help me. So I actually became friends with a couple of really cool people that way. So when Corey and I met and we were exclusive after that, it was a little bit difficult because it's like the few friends that I had and that I was communicating with, I didn't feel like I could talk to them anymore. So I kind of just stopped talking to them, and they were no longer in my life, which is fine.
And I wasn't I didn't tell him like never talk to another girl again. I literally was not like that.
No, Corey didn't say that at all. I didn't feel like it was right of me to continue talking to people. So I just stopped talking to people. But then after a little while, it was like, well, wait. So like I don't have any friends anymore. Like I don't have anybody in my life that I communicate with. And all of us know that being visually impaired or blind can actually be very isolating and lonely. So something that's very important to us is to get out there, have friends or people that we communicate with regularly, and just put ourselves in social situations. So I was feeling like, okay, I don't have this part of my life anymore because I'm not talking to anybody other than like Corey and my family, which is totally fine. But at the same time, we need other like outside interactions with people.
And like I want Matt to have those those relationships. Like I really,
those relationships are very important.
That. I in no way like want him to only be friends with me.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, just strictly platonic relationships.
I don't care, girls, guys, whatever.
We just need that interaction. So, like someone like Corey who goes to work 4 days a week, 10 hours a day, she's interacting with probably, I don't even know,
50 people a week.
Oh, not a week? 50 people a week? I was thinking probably like 30 people a day.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, a lot of people. I forget.
I mean, she's interacting with a lot of people daily.
Yeah.
Whereas I interact with Corey, I maybe talk to one of my parents each day, and we go to the gym and I maybe talk to like the front desk girl for literally like 3 seconds. I say hi and bye. So that's it. You know what I mean? So having that outside social interaction for me is very important, just because I do feel like I live such an isolated life.
Yep. Some people want to comment.
Okay.
Which is interesting. Let's see here. I'm going to just kind of read here. Okay. Ravi wrote, on a side note, Matt, I remember you saying on another video, magnifiers don't help you. Have you tried electronic magnifiers? That's what I used up until recently.
Okay.
I'll have you go ahead and comment.
Yeah. So my question to that would be, obviously I haven't tried a electronic magnifier. I do have one of those handheld things. It's like, I think it's called Pebble. It's It's just like a little handheld thing, but that actually doesn't work for me anymore. It just doesn't work for me anymore. But do you have magnifiers or anything that will actually read to you? So it's like a device that you can scan over something that'll actually read to you?
That's what we really want.
Yeah, if I had something like that, that would absolutely help me. But
yeah, as a sidebar, if somebody has something like a device that you can like put over a mail and it can read to you.
Yeah, over a piece of paper.
That would be the best thing ever. Do you think, Matt?
That would work for me. As for magnification, that doesn't really help me much anymore. I do have a magnifier that if I invert the colors, which I have to invert the colors because the only way I can see it, and if I zoom it in a lot, I can see it, but it takes me a long time to see, like, I'm not even exaggerating, it could take me an hour or 45 minutes to read, like, a sentence. So typically I don't do that because I just have somebody else read it for me.
Carrie wrote, let's see here, an idea may be taking classes, dancing, exercise, crafts, that way you can meet more people. You know, we found that with yoga.
Yep.
We've met some really, really good friends. Like, we have a really good friend, Dina.
Yep, Dina. Really
she's like super awesome.
Yeah.
So that's like, that's a good suggestion. Sabrina wrote, I always struggle to connect with people here. It works okay for me, but in real life, I don't have connections. The most contacts in my life on a regular basis are caregivers. I mean, don't you feel like you get so much like enjoyment out of like this type of interaction with
exactly.
like,
so
with all of you?
Yeah, exactly. Like all of you, all of our friends here on these live streams. That's another reason these live streams are so important to not only me and Corey, but I'm hoping that it's important to all of you as well, just to have this social interaction like we just talked about. Having something to look forward to. It's so cool to sit here and be able to talk to everybody.
Yeah, this half hour to an hour. I mean, honestly, like we get so like Matt and I get so like charged up from this. We get so much like so excited and like
it's fun.
Like I'm excited during and like we are like we can't like go to sleep because we're like so excited after.
Yeah, when this is over,
like,
we'll sit and talk about it for an hour.
And we're like so excited and it's just so fun. Let's see here. Rizwan wrote, Corey, don't you think there are lots of comments today? Oh, everyone's interested in talking about relationships. You know what? It's true and it's fun because I do feel like this was a really good topic. So Ravi is who inspired our comments today, and we so appreciate it because it's been a super fun.
Thanks, Ravi. And Rizwan for the comment.
Yes. And Rejoy wrote, I understand what I meant by casual is that I'm not intending to have a long-term relationship with women, not because I dislike women, but because I prefer being single. I think you and Matt have a lot.
Yeah. Rejoy. Where are you
your
at?
Guy. Matt also prefers being single, but he signed a legal document, so he no longer has that option.
Right. Being single is so much easier.
Yep. Yeah. Be careful what you sign.
Yeah.
Is what Matt would caution everyone.
Yes. She said it, not me. But I thought it.
Matt thought it. He was too scared to say it. Reader wrote, but I agree on always interacting with people and making friends. Carrie wrote, oh darn, let's see here. Oh, you can also go to church if you are not religious. Go to other group meetings. That's a good choice. Point. People meet a lot of people at church. Ravi wrote, yes. Carrie wrote, have you used Seeing AI or Envision AI? They're on the phone. You know what? I think, is that the one you pay for? There's one that's like $100, I think, and it's like really, really good.
You hold the phone out and they look, it's like actually a live person that you interact with that looks through
the
phone camera. Here's the problem, Carrie. I actually don't have it with me. I don't have a smartphone yet. I still use one of these slider phones from like 15 years ago. I can make calls and I can send text messages. If somebody texts me, that's the problem because I can't see it. And it doesn't read to me. It's just like a really basic phone.
And there is no reason Matt doesn't have a phone.
There's literally no reason.
Except that it's his choice.
Except that, pretty much my choice.
Yes. And that's okay. We're like waiting and being patient.
I'm really, really close to buying an iPhone.
We are so close now. We can like taste it and it kills me every day because I know, just like all of you, that his life will be so changed and he will be so much more like free. And he'll be so much happier if he gets an iPhone.
Yeah. I'll be one of those people that says, why didn't I do this 5 years ago?
Yeah. Like like my sister just got an Apple Watch and she's like obsessed with it, and I'm kind of like, I don't really know if I don't think I need an Apple Watch. Like I don't feel like I need that in my life, but I'm sure if I had one, I would think I don't even know how I like lived without this.
Right.
Ravi, and we're gonna look into this. He uses something called Prodigy by Humanware. And that is I believe a speaking thing as well. So we're gonna look into that when we get off here. Yep. And if we buy one, then we will do a video on it.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Ravi. I appreciate that.
That's so helpful. He said it'll change your life forever. If you want, I can email you about it. We definitely want that. Carrie wrote Prodigy is really expensive. Okay. So maybe we won't buy it, but we'll look into it. But we will email you about that because, and I think I said Ravi again. I'm sorry, Ravi. We'll have you email Matt about that. And Sabrina wrote, you and Matt, oh darn, you and Matt are charge you too hot. It's so fun to connect with you. Matt or Myron wrote, Matt, if you are bored or feel lonely, you can call me if you like, mostly because I'm mostly free. That's very kind.
That's very cool. And thanks, Marwan.
We would love, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Carrie wrote, also when I'm feeling sociable, which isn't all the time, LOL, I just talk to random people. Uber, I engage with them and just ask questions. People like talking about themselves usually.
I agree.
Matt always says that, always.
Here's the thing. Here's how I think I differ in conversation versus other people. I completely agree with you, Carrie. Everybody loves talking about themselves. I don't really like talking about myself all that much. If somebody asks me a question, I'll give them a really vague, short answer. But that's maybe not vague, but I'll give a very short answer. But I'll get straight to the point in as few words as possible. That's what I like to do. But when I engage in conversation with someone else, I ask so many questions. I've had a lot of people that say, it feels like I'm on an interview when I'm with you because you just ask so many questions. And literally that's what I do. It's one question after another. And then somebody asks me a question, I give them a 5-word answer, and then I'm right back to asking them questions again. Because I like to engage with people, and I like to talk to people, but I don't necessarily like to talk about myself, but I like to get to know other people. So it's just rapid fire questions.
Mm-hmm. Probably why I liked him, because I like to
Because it gives her a chance to talk. Yeah.
I even when Matt started doing videos, and I'm curious, we don't go back and watch old videos from YouTube, but I would watch the videos and tape them, and I would say Matt, tell people how you feel about stuff. Don't just document the facts, but say how do you feel? How does being in the situation make you feel? And so it took a while, I think, for Matt to open up about being able to say how he feels and not just a fact situation. Anyway, because that's kind of what he does, which is totally fine. Carrie about the phones. So now these are comments about the phone. Okay. Carrie says, oh no, Matt, we need to convert you. Smiley face. Marlon said, yeah, buy one. Sabrina wrote, it's so pity that Matt fears change. Sabrina.
Come on, Sabrina.
We're on the same wavelength here, dude. Let's see here. Carrie wrote, Prodigy is so expensive. Marlon said, don't get scared. Get Android phone better. Carrie wrote, whichever iPhone or Android, get a smartphone. And then Carrie wrote, Corey, you're so funny. Matt thinks I'm super funny all the time, too.
Yeah, right.
Rejoy wrote, Matt, yes, we are similar, even with the conversations. People keep going on and on when they talk to me, and I love to listen. Mm-hmm. Sabrina wrote, yeah, Matt, we also want you to learn more about you. We want to know about us, but we want to know about you, too. Rejoy, one person even said that they feel they can tell me anything because I'm non-judgmental. Mm-hmm. And Arburns Wallace, Richard, wrote, we all a live stream family on this channel and so much support and love shown on this channel. Very amazing channel and is the very best channel in the world.
Thanks,
Thank
Richard.
You.
That's so
and
cool.
And actually, we
Thank
can kind of say that as an accurate, it's kind of accurate because people are from all over the world here tonight. Yeah. And so in a way, it's true, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because we've got people from
Richard.
all over the world saying it, at least from one place in the world.
That's so nice of you. Thank you.
And let's see here. Carrie wrote, have you guys done a How Have You Met video? Just wondering. That'd be kind of cute.
I'm not sure, but we can definitely do that.
Yeah, that'd be cute. We could make a video about it.
Mm-hmm. We may have touched on it in another video. I have no clue which video, but we can definitely talk about it. Yeah,
that'd be
we can
really
do that
cute.
in a different video.
Yeah, that'd be cute. Let's see here. And you, Carrie, should also do a How Have You Met video if you have not, about you and Pablo.
Oh, right? Yeah.
That'd be cute.
That would be cool.
I'd like to know all about the scandal at work.
Right.
Let's see. Anything else you want to say, Matt, or do you think we should wrap it up? I feel like people might be tired.
It's been a really good discussion.
Yeah,
I
this is
think
so nice.
it's been really good.
Ooh, Rejoy thinks that our How Have You Met video could turn into a movie.
Oh,
that would
really?
be so cool. It's really basically just email messages back and forth.
Right.
But Matt was really cute and flirty.
Right.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to throw out before I forget. So tomorrow was supposed to be the airing of last Friday's interview with KARE 11 News, which is a pretty big news station here in Minneapolis. So if you didn't already hear, last Friday I had an interview with KARE 11 News here in Minneapolis, and they talked about my experience with practicing yoga as a blind person. So it was a pretty cool interview. It was maybe like 10, 15 minutes interview, and then they actually filmed the entire class, the entire like 60-minute class of us practicing yoga. So, and then after the class, they actually interviewed the instructor as well, Dina, which is one of our friends. She's actually also here on the channel, not tonight, but she's also one of the people that pops in every so often on the channel. But anyway, tomorrow morning was supposed to be the airing of that video, and unfortunately, the reporter was in contact with us today and said it's actually going to be pushed out to next week instead. So I just wanted to let you guys know that when it actually airs, we will be bringing the video and putting it on the channel so all of you can see it. So it will be pretty cool. We're really excited to see it air.
We're so excited.
Fun.
We have no clue how it's going to be edited, so it could be either really awesome or like,
yeah. We're thinking they're going to edit it down to probably like 2 minutes of filming, maybe 2-3 minutes at the most of film. So, you know, probably like an hour and a half worth of filming, they'll edit down to just a couple minutes.
Yep.
We have no idea what they're going to talk about, but we're excited to see it.
Yeah, we just think that they'll edit a bunch of Matt's words together to like form a sentence that says like, I am blind and I do yoga. Yeah. But you know what? It'll be so cool.
Right. It'll be neat. Yeah.
I'm going to read a couple more comments.
Okay.
Carrie wrote, yes. Marvin wrote, scandal. I like gossip. LOL. Totally me too. Riz wants to let's count how many countries are here. So there's United States,
UK, right?
Yeah.
Yep. India,
Netherlands.
Oh, Netherlands, yeah.
And London.
I was gonna let you venture on that
one. We like purposely said like I knew Matt was skipping London because we're all of a sudden like, is that a country?
We're really bad with geography.
This is so embarrassing.
Dude, you shouldn't have said that. It was her.
London, England.
So anyway,
it's in England, and England's not.
We are covering. There's a lot of people.
There's like
here.
4 or 5 countries involved.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Let's see here. Marvin said yes, cool, can't wait to see it. Arben's Wallace wrote, you guys should try shopping on your own, Matt, and video it. Richard,
shopping on my own, yeah.
That is such a big thing that we want to do.
I'm going to be doing that at one of these at some point here. I should really just do it. I've been talking about it, but getting an assistant, a shopping assistant here at one of the local grocery stores or like a Target store. So they offer a shopping assistant where I can just go into the service desk, say, hey, I'm blind, I need an assistant, and they'll actually assign somebody to walk around the store with me and help me shop. So I don't know if that includes like them helping me navigate, like them driving the cart.
I think yes. Because what are they going to
I hope so, because otherwise
in the ditch?
I'm just going to stand there because I won't be able to move.
Yeah, I think they will. Reader, glad to meet you here, Matt and Corey. I appreciate that you are doing this. It is so helpful for others in the same boat of visual impairment. Carrie wrote, yes, excited to see the news clip. Rizwan wrote Philippines. And Sabrina wrote, yes, London is in the UK. There we go. Geography. Now everybody knows.
Good.
I think everybody else knew.
Did Rizwan say Philippines?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. Rizwan, are you in the Philippines now? Oh, Juan's here. Hi.
Juan is here. Hey.
Hey.
What's going on,
Matt,
Juan?
hey, Corey. So nice to see you here.
Yeah, very cool.
And Juan, where is Juan from?
I don't think Juan and I have ever discussed that.
I feel like, is he from Texas?
I don't think we've ever discussed.
Yeah.
I typically remember where people are from. I have a pretty good memory.
Yeah, it's like a trap, a bear trap. Carrie wrote, yes, when you get a shopping assistant, try to get a girl, LOL. Pablo has a hard time when it's a guy.
Yeah.
That's actually good.
I agree, Carrie. Don't worry. I've already thought of that.
Yeah. Matt will get a girl shopping assistant.
And then we'll be stuck in the store conveniently.
Yeah.
And Corey will be waiting outside for hours and hours.
And I'll think, what the heck?
Like Paul would say, dude, I just went on a date in Target.
Yeah. Juan's from San Francisco Bay Area in California.
Oh, really? Okay, I never knew that.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
That's awesome.
That is cool. There's a lot of California people.
Yep.
Let's see. Marvin wrote, Iraqi in the mistake by the lake, LOL. And Rizwan wrote, no, live accessible. Oh, she is from the Philippines, I think. Oh, yeah, you know what? Because it's funny you said that, because I was like thinking, I thought that's where Carrie was from. She doesn't live there now. Oh, she's from the Philippines, but she lives in the U.S.
Yep. North Carolina?
Yes. And yes, she just said that actually.
Yep. I know where everybody's from.
Yeah, Matt's really good at that. I don't remember like anything, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Matt always has his listening ears on.
Yeah,
that's
I do.
Why. So.
Yeah. So any other points on how like dating as a blind or visually impaired person or meeting friends or people?
I don't think so, but I really I believe Carrie said to like just chat with every single person you encounter, like your Uber driver. And I actually think that's Matt does that, and I
usually Corey does the talking for me. So when we're in a place,
I'm shaking my head no.
She does. But yeah, Carrie, I actually wanted to ask you about that. Like, how do you approach people? Because for me, if I went to try to approach somebody, I would either walk right into them or I would be about 20 feet away and actually think that they were like right next to me. I actually would probably never try to navigate or walk somewhere on my own unless I was like in a house, like my house that I was very familiar with and I knew exactly where someone was.
Well, it's nice if you're in an Uber, though.
In an Uber, it's easy.
Because you know where the driver is, and we're all trapped.
We should do that as an experience. So here's the thing. When I get an iPhone in the next, let's just say 2 months.
2 months.
In the next 2 months, when I get an iPhone, we're going to do a couple videos. I'm going to do the shopping assistant. With my new phone, I will go out shopping and then get an assistant. And then I should also do a project. I should just order an Uber and have him drive me around
God.
I don't know, have him drive me around for like 10 minutes just as an experiment and then take me home. And I'll video the whole thing of me like, I'll probably do it
when I'm at work.
I'll do it when Corey's at work, so it's just a complete adventure. Hopefully he brings me home.
I know, I'm always so nervous.
So I'll do that. Those will be 2 videos. We'll write them down when we get off this.
Yeah.
We'll write them down as video ideas, and I'll do that within the next couple months here when I have a smartphone that I can actually record some videos
That would be so crazy.
Who knows what other trouble I can get into with a phone.
So
and it'll all be caught on video.
Yeah. So actually, and then if something crazy happened, at least he'd be on video. So
right.
They'd find his phone in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah.
Rizwan wrote, you both are 2 bodies and 1 soul, LOL.
Yeah.
I'm the bad part of the soul.
Yeah, she is.
I am the mean part.
Yep. I'm just going to let her accept that one.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, okay. I know. And then Marwan wrote, cool, do it.
Marwan, you're such a bad influence on me.
I know, such a good influence. Yeah, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. Sabrina wrote, Corey, don't be nervous. Make it capable. Make is capable to do this. It's going to be just fine. You know what? It's true, Sabrina. And it's funny because I might feel nervous about something, but like, you got to just like let people live, you know? And I do feel like I say I'm nervous, but I would be so thrilled.
Yeah.
Do you feel that my being nervous about stuff inhibits you in any way?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
I think I'm more pushy than anything.
Mm-hmm. She's pushy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
More comments, questions, anything?
That is about it.
Okay.
You guys have been so great.
Yeah, thanks again.
We've had just like a fun time. I think everyone's probably ready to like wrap this up though.
Yep, we'll definitely wrap this up. But yeah, thanks again to all of you for being here. This is just so nice. We really appreciate all of you being here. I love these live streams. It's so much fun to interact with everyone.
Rizwan wants to know what time it is in the U.S. It's 11:05 p.m.
11:05.
I know, we've been doing this for 64
we gotta go.
minutes. I know. Oh man.
But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, thanks again for all of you being here. This is so cool.
Yeah.
We just really appreciate all the support. It really means a lot to me. A lot.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you guys so
Yep.
much. Have a great night or a good
Yep.
morning.
Yeah, have a
Sleep
great day.
or be awake. Carrie Road, it's 12:05 a.m. over here. Okay, you need
Yep.
to go to bed. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good
Thank you.
morning.
We'll probably see you tomorrow on
Good
another
day.
live stream. We'll try to do another one tomorrow evening.
Yes.
Probably earlier, though.
A little earlier.
A little earlier. Thanks
Thank
again
you,
for being here.
guys.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, friends.
Thank you.